Hey guys, welcome back to part 3 of building an island in Blender. And today we're just going to be putting two more particle systems on. One will be reeds and the other one will just be some different plants. So let's start with the plants. So let's just start by going to layer 4 and let's add a plane. And let's go into edit mode and bring this up 1 unit on the grid. Which way you do that is GZ and then hit 1. So it grabs it, gets it up on the Z axis, and brings it up 1 unit. So then you can rotate it on the X axis by 90 degrees. And so now let's hit SX.2. I know it has to be pretty exact. Anyhow, then you can get this. Basically, what we're going to do is try and make this little cactus-like plant thing. And it'll kind of, it'll repeat itself. And it'll look kind of something like this. But for now, that's a pretty crude version of it. So let's just work on making the plant. So like I just did, let's just kind of curl it over. And probably don't want to curl it over quite that much. Just like that. And I think that'll work. And now we can Control R, loop one in the middle, and then kind of bring it down a little bit to get that little fold in the plant. Bring it along. At the very end here, you can bring that together. So there you've got a basic plant. And then let's add a subdivision surface to it. And I'm not going to add any smoothing to it because it makes it look weird when you do that. So apply the subsurf modifier and let's just start multiplying this a couple times. Shift D randomly, absolutely randomly, and you can kind of, and you just want a couple, probably once more, and I think that'll be good enough. So now you can see we have this plant, and it looks okay, but I want to add some randomness to that. So we've got all these little individual plant parts. So let's go down here to select and hit random. And then you can hit SZ and bring it up randomly. And just do that several times, bringing it up and down so you can get that really random looking plant. Or however you want to do it. So I found that effect worked pretty well. So now we have this, it could be some kind of plant, cactus, bush thing. But anyhow, so select them all and hit Control J to make it one mesh. Let's go over here and call it, let's just call it bush. And now let's add a quick material, call it bush. And lighter greenish yellow, and maybe a little bit darker. And specular intensity all the way down. And that's all we're going to do for the cactus, or bush, sorry. So let's go over here to our landscape. And let's go to particle systems, add a new one. I'm going to hide the rocks. Add a new particle system and call it bushes, particle settings, bushes, and make the type hair, and turn on advanced and random as usual. And under render, instead of path, choose object and choose bush. And now let's choose our vertex group down here and choose cactus/bush. And let's go up here and turn on rotation and make it global Y once more. And so now it looks like Blender's handling this pretty well, so we can have a good number of all of them. So right now let's adjust the size, and how about we make the number 250 for now. And right now let's make the size 0.02. Let's try to go 0.01. And maybe just bring that up a little bit more. There we go. And random size, turn that way up. Bring that up to about 0.9. And let's just make the size 0.015. There we go. And now let's add, under rotation, just add a bit of random rotation there. And just give it a bit more randomness. And I'll make the number 550. I think that'll be a good number. And one thing, I do want to check the test render of what this is going to look like. So I'm just going to hide that. So let's set up our camera. So add camera. Make that the active camera. And let's angle it here. And let's go into our camera settings and make you see the clipping start and end is 100. So let's just make that 250 just to make sure we can see the end of the ocean. And so let's just try a test render on that. I just want to see how it's looking. Okay, it's looking okay. First of all, the first thing that we need to do is adjust the rotation of our sun and turn on ambient occlusion. Ambient occlusion just really adds more light, and it just makes a much better effect. So let's make the factor let's make it 0.3, and also turn on mist down here, and make the depth 100, or let's make the depth 80, and the start, put that to 8. And let's see here. Let's also go and adjust the rotation of our sun here. Just take a little test render. Okay, let's try re-rendering that. Okay, that's looking a lot better. It does look like the leaves could be a bit darker. I kind of overestimated and they're a little bit too light now. And we will get into texture painting this a little bit. So let's go in here. And I think the trees could be a little bit smaller too. So let's just turn that on. Our trees here. There we go. Yeah, they do look a little bit tall. So particle system trees. And let's make the size 0.025. That looks pretty good. And so for the color of the trees, select our tree and make the leaves a bit more green, I guess, and darker. And let's do the same with the cactus plant. Make it a bit darker. And we can do another test render in a bit. And it looks like the mist was mapping on pretty well too when we were testing that out. So I think we'll start with the reeds now. And that will be kind of a tedious process, so I might skip over a little bit of it. But basically what we're going to do is add the same kind of bush technique. You know, go into edit mode, raise it 1 unit, and rotate it. And just kind of do that same process. Except for this time it's going to be a lot taller and less curved. So you can kind of bring it up however you want it. And since it's a reed, it's going to be tall and not overly curved. And just kind of bring it together. And I'll add a little subdivision surface here. Bring that down. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of duplicate this like I did with the cactus. But I'm just going to do a couple more times here. And I'm going to add a little cattail kind of thing. So I'll add a cylinder for that, scale it way down, and bring that up. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm going to add a cylinder, and go into edit mode and bring that up 1 unit, and then just scale it up to about how high I want it. Scale it way down so it's really thin. Kind of see it in there. And let's add a little sphere. And basically all we're going to do is stretch it. Let's kind of stretch it like that. And I think that'll work for the cattail. Let's create actually, before we create a material, let's just scale it down pretty far. It's kind of like a capsule. And let's add a material for it. And let's just call it cattail. And let's make it brown, brownish, dark brown. And intensity all the way down. And same for the reed itself. So reed, make that green, greenish yellowish. A little more yellow there. Okay, so I'll come back. So I'm just going to kind of duplicate it, and I'll be right back. Hey guys, we're back, and I did a lot of work on this. I made the, first of all, cattails a bit more more like a capsule, thin capsule, and I made the reeds a bunch of random reeds, and so that's just basically what our reeds are going to be. And so I hope you kind of duplicated yours how you want them, and really it's really simple, just a whole bunch of little pieces that come apart. And so I'm just duplicating it, and it looks a lot better. So with that, just make sure you name it, call it reeds, and let's go back into our landscape, and let's add a particle system, one more, and let's call this one reeds. Particle settings, reeds, and set the type to hair, and number let's set to 500. Turn on advanced and random, and select our, for objects, select reeds. Let's see right here. Okay, that's quite a few. Select our vertex group, reeds, and let's make the rotation global Y. And oops, global Z actually. Sorry. Sometimes it changes. For this, just get it until it's upright. So for this one, for the reeds, it was global Z. So let's make the size 0.02. Let's try 0.017. And random size, turn that up to about 0.35. And I think the number is pretty good actually. And I think that's really all we have to do for the reeds, except for I do want to do a test render and see if there's anything that needs to be changed. Okay, so it looks like our little cactus bushes went on pretty well. I think I might change the color of the water, maybe a little bit darker blue, less kind of aqua, and I think that's looking pretty good. And I'm going to make the rocks a little bit darker as well. Computer's getting a little bit hot here. So go to our rock. You don't have to do this, I'm just, in my opinion, I'm just going to make it a little bit darker. And for the ocean, I'm going to make it less aqua colored. So I'll go to our ocean color texture and make that just solid dark. Yeah, that'll look better in the render. So it's looking pretty good so far, and in part 4 we're just gonna start texture painting the just right around the ocean here underneath the island, so it's like the island is dropping off into the water, and just some additional effects like that. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it, and see you in the next one. Thanks.